coyote falls off of a cliff for the thousandth time, gets crushed by a massive rock, and dusty smoke fills the air. He stands up, unhurt, ready to do it all over again. Most people call this cartoon logic, but here's the catch. Eternal life without the ability to escape pain is not a superpower, it is a curse. This cycle of destruction suggests something much darker is at play than just bad luck or faulty gadgets. The desert is not a setting, it is a prison designed to keep him suffering forever. Most people look at Bugs Bunny and see a clever hero who always wins. He is the guy we all want to be. Cool, calm, always one step ahead. But here's the catch. If you actually analyze his behavior, he does not act like a hero. He acts like a god who is bored with his creations. There is a popular theory gaining traction that suggests Bugs is not a rabbit at all. He is a trickster deity inspired by ancient folklore who has trapped his enemies in a reality he controls completely. Think about it. In every episode, the laws of physics apply to everyone except him. When Elmer Fudd fires a weapon, it backfires. When a heavy object falls, it misses Bugs by an inch but flattens anyone else. This is not just luck, it is reality manipulation. The theory claims that Bugs is a powerful entity who feeds on the frustration and misery of the people hunting him. He does not want to escape, he wants to play with his food. And get this, he often changes his appearance instantly. In the 1944 short What's Cookin' doc, we see him swapping genders and costumes in a way that feels like sorcery. He bends the world to fit his narrative. He creates doors and solid walls that only he can open. He pulls massive objects out of thin air. To us, it is funny. To Elmer Fudd or Yosemite Sam, it must be terrifying. Imagine trying to hunt something that could turn your own weapon into a bouquet of flowers or convince you that it is duck season when snow is falling. The crazy part is even the creators seem to hint at this. There are interviews from the 70s where animators joked about Bugs being divine. They claim that if he is a god, then the hunters are just the fools praying to him. But it stops being a joke when you look at the body count. In the uncut versions of these cartoons, the violence escalates from dropping anvils to point-blank encounters. Bugs never flinches. He never fears for his life because he knows he cannot cease to exist. This paints a picture of a sociopathic entity. He is not fighting for survival, he is fighting for entertainment. The hunters are not the villains here. They are victims trapped in a game they are rigged to lose. They are stuck in a loop, forced to relive their humiliation over and over again for decades. And Bugs? He's just enjoying the show. He is the only one who knows it is all a game, which is why he talks to the audience. He's breaking the fourth wall to tell us that he is the one in charge. So here's the deal. If Bugs is a god, then the forest he lives in is his personal playground. He keeps his enemies around not because they are a threat, but because he needs them to stave off boredom. It is a dark thought, but it explains everything. It explains why he never truly gets hurt and why he always has the last laugh. He is an ancient force of chaos disguised as a woodland creature, and we have been cheering for the monster the whole time. But this manipulation of reality is just the tip of the iceberg. If Bug represents a god controlling his world, there is another character who represents the exact opposite. Someone trapped in a system designed to crush him, no matter how hard he tries. The desert holds a secret much darker than a simple chase. We have to talk about Wile E. Coyote. Everyone thinks he is just hungry, chasing the Roadrunner for a meal. But that does not make any sense. If he has the money to buy rocket skates, giant magnets, and explosives from a mail-order company, he has the money to buy a steak. So why does he keep chasing the bird he can never catch? The theory here is heartbreaking. It suggests that Coyote is not hungry for food, he is trapped in a corporate hell, or worse, a literal purgatory. Basically, the Roadrunner is not an animal, it is a tormentor. It is the carrot on the stick that keeps the coyote running in circles. And the Acme Corporation? They're the ones funding the torture. There is a deep dive theory that says Acme is actually a front for a sadistic organization, or perhaps the rulers of this underworld who are testing their faulty equipment on a willing test subject. Or maybe, he's not willing at all. Consider the Toon physics curse. Every single gadget the coyote buys fails. But they do not just fail, they fail in the most ironic and painful ways possible. A rocket works perfectly until he is over a cliff. A wall is solid for him, but a tunnel for the Roadrunner. This is not bad engineering. This is targeted malice. The universe is actively conspiring to ensure he never succeeds. And that is putting it lightly. Some fans believe the coyote represents a man fighting severe depression. The constant falls from high cliffs, they symbolize attempts to end it all. But in the cartoon world, you're not allowed to perish. You just wake up, dust yourself off, and are forced to do it all over again. He's stuck in a loop of self-destruction. There is a chilling detail from a 1990 episode of a spin-off show where a character refuses to do a scene involving a cliff crash because it was too dark. But for the coyote, this is his daily reality. He is an employee in a nightmare job where the boss wants him to fail. He orders products that he knows might not work, hoping that maybe this time, things will be different. But they never are. The environment itself is a prison. It is always the same desert, the same roads, the same cliffs. There is no civilization, no other food sources, just him and the bird. The Roadrunner never attacks him, it just watches him destroy himself. It beeps and speeds away, leaving him in the dust. It is a psychological thriller disguised as a chase scene. So we have a god controlling the forest and a prisoner trapped in the desert. But the darkness does not stop with the characters. It extends to the very timeline of the show itself. There is evidence that the world these characters inhabit is unstable, shifting and changing in ways that leave residue in our own memories. You might be remembering a version of the show that no longer exists. Ask yourself this question: how do you spell the name of the show? Most people would swear on their lives it is spelled Toons, like cartoons. It makes sense, right? But if you look it up today, it is spelled Tunes, like music. This is one of the most famous examples of the Mandela effect. Millions of people share a clear memory of a spelling that apparently never existed. Theory suggests that this is proof of a timeline shift, that at some point, reality glitched and we moved from a universe where it was Toons to one where it is Tunes. But it gets creepier. It is not just the name that has changed. There are entire episodes that have been wiped from history, known as the Censored 11. These were shorts produced in the early 40s that were so offensive and filled with dark wartime propaganda that they were banned from television. But they did not just disappear. They became sort of an urban legend. The theory is that these banned shorts contain negative energy, psychic scars left over from a dark time in history. People claim that watching the uncut versions feels wrong, like you are viewing a summoning ritual rather than a cartoon. There are stories of modern revivals and restorations causing strange reactions in viewers, almost like the negativity embedded in the film strips is leaking out. Voice actors from that era, like the legendary man who voiced Bugs, talked about how intense the sessions were. He mentioned bombing voices, and in some cases the lines were delivered with such hate and vitriol that it unsettled the production crew. That energy does not just go away, it lingers in the archives. And get this, there are rumors of lost endings to classic episodes. One specific thread online discusses a short from 1946 where the ending was allegedly much darker, involving a main character being taken apart. Fans who claim to have seen it describe being traumatized, but official records say it never happened. Is it another memory from a lost timeline, or was it scrubbed to protect the public from something the creators went too far with? The idea of a multiverse is baked into the show's DNA. There is no continuity. Characters perish in one episode and are fine in the next. They break the fourth wall. They acknowledge the artist's hand. It creates a feeling that nothing is real and everything is fluid. If the timeline can shift for them, maybe it shifted for us too. But while we worry about timelines and spellings, there is a threat much closer to home. A small, yellow character that looks innocent, but might be the most dangerous predator of them all. He is not a bird. He is something else entirely. Everyone loves Tweety Bird. He is cute, he has a baby voice, and he seems helpless. But here's the thing. That canary has a body count. If you pay attention to the fights between him and Sylvester the cat, Tweety is never actually in danger. He displays a level of strength and sadism that is physically impossible for a small bird. He lifts heavy objects, he concocts complex traps, he survives situations that should crush him instantly. A viral theory suggests that Tweety is not a bird but a genetically modified organism, a lab experiment designed to look harmless while possessing lethal capabilities. Look at his head size compared to his body. It is unnatural. Look at his eyes. They are massive. He fits the description of a biological weapon disguised as a pet. Sylvester isn't the villain, he is just a cat acting on instinct. But Tweety acts with malice. There is a 1947 short where the violence is so extreme it implies that Tweety actively enjoys hurting the cat. He does not just escape, he punishes. There are off-screen moments where we hear the violence but do not see it, and when the camera cuts back, the cat is devastated. What most people don't realize is that Tweety often initiates the conflict. He taunts the cat. He lures him in. It is the behavior of an apex predator baiting its prey. The I taught putty tat line is not a cry for help. It is a declaration of a target. He is announcing that he has found something to play with. This aligns with the darker tone of the entire universe we have discussed. If Bugs is a god and Coyote is a prisoner, Tweety is the enforcer. He is the creature that looks sweet to keep the humans unsuspecting, but unleashing absolute chaos on anyone who crosses him. It explains why he has survived for so long against a natural predator. He is simply higher on the food chain than the cat. So here's the big question. Do you think Bugs Bunny is actually the villain of the story, or is Wile E. Coyote's torture just harmless fun? Let me know your take in the comments below. If this ruined your childhood, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives. Catch you in the next one.